Hello, everyone, and welcome to the regular council meeting of the Village of Lytton for July 28th. Before we begin, I'd like to remind everyone to please turn off your videos, mute your microphones to allow council to begin the proceedings. Please note that this meeting is being recorded and broadcasted on the Village of Lytton YouTube channel. If you wish to view this meeting or access a video recording of a past meeting, you can visit the Village YouTube channel and watch it there. Thank you, Your Worship. You may call the meeting to order.
Thank you. I call this regular council meeting of July 28th to order at 7 p.m. To begin, I want to recognize that we're meeting this evening on the unceded traditional ancestral territory of the Ntlaka'kan people. All right, so first up is adoption of tonight's agenda, and we do have one item to add to new business. So can I have a motion, please, to adopt the agenda with an amendment?
So moved. McCann.
Thank you, Councillor McCann, seconded by
I'll second.
Councillor Michelle. All those in favor? Right. Carried. Moving on to adoption of the minutes of the council meeting we held on July the 14th.
Make the motion.
Thank you, Councillor Michelle, seconded by Councillor Toss. Were there any errors or omissions?
One amendment.
Councillor McCann?
Yeah. On I just gotta find it. Just a second here. Oh, okay. It was under the section about the Chamber of Commerce resolution. And I recommend rewording, if possible, to council direct staff to invite the Lytton Chamber of Commerce to attend an upcoming committee of the whole meeting for further discussion, and just leave it at that. It was reference to something about a meeting at the beginning of that statement. And to me, it looked like it was there a meeting or was there something else? So just make it less confusing, I thought.
So that's not changing the intent of the original motion. I'm looking at Corporate Officer Storoshenko.
That's correct. Yeah, that's fine. I have made that amendment.
Okay, great. So let's, if there are no other errors or omissions, let's please call the question then. All those in favor of the minutes as amended? Carried. All right. We have no business arising. We'll move right on to public comment, and I'll turn it back over to Corporate Officer Storoshenko.
Thank you, Your Worship. So this is the public comment portion of the meeting. So if anyone would like to speak, please use the raise hand function featured on Zoom. You can find that by clicking on React at the bottom of your screen and then select raise hand. When it's your turn, I'll read your name and ask you to unmute yourself. You'll have 2 minutes to speak, and you're asked to state and spell your name, provide your address, and indicate the agenda item number you're speaking to. So if anyone would like to speak, please use the raise hand function now. I'm not seeing anybody with the raise hand, so I will call it for a second time. If anyone would like to speak, please use the raise hand function now. And again, no one online. Your Worship, is there anyone at Parish Hall?
Yes, there's no public here this evening.
All right, so thank you. That concludes the public comment portion, and back to you, Your Worship.
Thank you. We'll move right on to item number 7, which is staff reports. And we'll begin with the capital projects update. And this is a monthly report that we receive. CAO Mombriquette, would you like to speak to it?
Thank you, Mayor O'Connor. Good evening, everyone. I did just want to make a couple of comments about the capital projects update. The first item on it is the community hub, and I noticed as I was preparing for the meeting that there's an error in the report because I referred to the terms of reference here for an advisory committee, which we did not bring forward for tonight's agenda. We were planning to originally, so that's a little bit early on this report. So the other thing I just wanted to mention that happened today, so it's not on this report, is we did meet today with the pool contractor and review an updated layout plan for the pool and the pool building. So the next step to that will be, as noted on the report, we'll now schedule meetings with the health and recreation coordinators of the local bands to get their feedback on the proposed facility, the proposed layout. And then once we have that feedback, we'll bring it all back to council for their feedback and review. Hoping to get that done like within sort of in the month of August. There are some people on holidays, but that gives us a chance to do some of the background work while that's happening. And then we will also have the final budget. But the contractor did assure me that the plan that they have been working on was intended to fit within the budget that we gave them. So we're expecting that it's going to come within what we've asked. So hopefully we'll have more information on that very soon. The other items, are projects that have kind of been moving along. We have hired the architects for the fire hall. We have a kickoff meeting with them tomorrow to start that project. They did come to Lytton and have a site visit to walk the site and to view the proposed location, so that they have a bit of a sense of that when we start talking about the project itself. The construction at 380 Main Street is well underway, and the water and sewer upgrades are proceeding as well. We have included in this month's report, as we discussed at the last council meeting, the change order listing for the village office, and that will be included in reports from here on going forward. So those are my comments. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Are there any questions regarding the report? Councillor Thomas.
Thank you. Is 380 Main, what is 380 Main? Is that the village?
The village office.
Okay.
The village office, yeah.
So I have a question around the fire hall. What I see it says project background and plan. I'm assuming there'll be some sort of, I don't know if it'll be a community group, but some sort of advisory or some input from the fire department at some point.
And we will be working with them to put together a whole plan for the engagement and who will be involved at what stages and how all that feedback will be kind of incorporated into that. So I don't know yet what that looks like. That's part of what we're starting to work on starting tomorrow.
Okay, awesome. I'd love to see the fire department involved as much as possible, because they'll be using the space. Thank you. And then one more question around the water, like the RFP going out for the Loring Way water repairs. And I'm wondering how many contractors we've had, and if there's a way to maybe keep the same contractor for that sort of continuity, so that the one pipe going into the next pipe is done by the same guy in want of better terms.
Well, we do have our list of 3, right, that we did our pre-qualification on. So we'll request the pricing from those 3 contractors.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Are there any other questions or comments regarding this?
No.
Okay, well, thank you for the report for this month, and let's, can we have a motion, please, to put this forward for information? For Lightfoot, seconded by Councillor McKenna. All those in favor? Carried. All right, moving on now to the key performance indicators, which is again a monthly report, if I'm correct, CAO Member Kett.
Quarterly. This one's a quarterly report.
Quarterly, that's right.
Thank you, Mayor O'Connor. And typically we do this report in conjunction with the quarterly financial report. We don't have the financial report in tonight's package. We're just running a little bit behind with, there's been a bit of disruption with the forest fires and people not being able to come to work and other people having to cover those roles. So we will have it for the next council meeting. But we did have the KPIs ready, so we thought we'd bring those forward without the financial report. So these are the key performance indicators that are included in our annual plan that was approved by council back in April. We did have one report on these indicators already at March 31st, and this is our second report for the year. We actually haven't made a lot of progress on the rebuilding side on the home front. We haven't had a lot of new home starts. We've had one. And so, we're the planning and development team continue to work with people to talk about the requirements, help them understand what needs to be done, and hopefully we'll get some more of those started by the end of the year. I do think it's unlikely we will hit the target of 35 residential building permits when we're only at 19 at this time. So, but we shall carry on. The investment in the water and the sewer system, that of course goes directly to these large projects that are underway, and being able to continue to secure contractors to keep those projects moving forward. The community hub, as we know, we've had a little bit of a redesign on that in order to bring the project size and scope down a little bit into to fit within our budget. So we do still anticipate tendering that by the end of the year, but it will be later than originally expected. The village office and the fire hall we just talked about. We did talk earlier about property tax utility charges policy changes. This came out of some of those committee of the whole discussions that we had at the beginning of the year, and we do have we are working on a proposed bylaw for council on water and sewer charges, and should have that at either the next meeting or the one after that. We have worked on a business attraction flat sheet within our office. We have not started working on that with the chamber yet, so that's going to be the next step on that piece. And this is just an attraction tool to use if we receive inquiries from businesses interested in investing in Lytton. It's just a little package that has everything they need to know all in one place. We do have our targets around the relationships with our local First Nation chief and councils, and we continue to reach out and to try to make ourselves available should there be an opportunity to meet and to discuss, kind of ways to work together and progressing towards memorandum of understandings between the organizations. So we'll continue to do that. The project advisory committee is probably going to evolve a little bit from where it was into something that would be a little bit more involved on the operational side of the building. So that is yet to come. And of course, we know the OCP is ongoing, and that update is scheduled to come forward to council in the fall, the updated OCP. The economic development plan, there's an RFP process in front of you later on the agenda tonight in order to hopefully select a contractor to get working on that. We have the destination development plan from a couple of years ago where we're working on the year 2 recommendations out of that. And our housing, the construction of our 2 tiny homes, both of those, the contracts are signed and the permitting is underway, and the construction of one of them, the one that's being constructed off-site, is well underway as well. Looking at some of the fire and emergency services stuff, a lot of this isn't, there's nothing happening on any of this right now because everybody is busy. And we will be able to get back to kind of working with the regional partners on this in the fall when some of the fire situation hopefully calms down a little bit. And then our final KPI is around advocacy on the health services side, and that's continuing. Mayor O'Connor, I believe you attend a roundtable meeting, is it once a month, to help continue to advocate for our needs there and to try to keep moving that project forward.
Right. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So thank you very much. A quarterly report, not monthly. Targets are so important. And I just look at this and there is a lot of work going on. And targets are just that, right? We work toward them. If we make them, great. We don't, we learn from it. Are there any questions or thoughts? Councillor McCann.
Thank you, CEO Member Kett. When you're talking about the economic growth and the little thing there that you can hand out with the Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
If possible, that would be really nice to have to take to the UBCM. So
yeah.
that would be a real nice goal to have, that if it would be ready by then anyone going to that could take it with them and use it to shake hands with.
Always good to have a deadline, so that's good.
Yeah.
Great, thank you. Councillor Toss.
Thank you. Thank you, CAO Monberquette. And I believe the chamber started, and I've got an email today from one of its members, and they've been doing some work on exactly what you're doing. So it'd be great to connect as soon as possible. I was wondering if Mayor O'Connor would update us on the roundtable discussion for this table and the community.
So I do updates every time. Well, after I've had a meeting, yes.
Oh,
so,
There hasn't been one.
Yeah, I haven't had a meeting
for a
months.
while. Okay.
They've taken a break for the summer.
But I do in my report.
It'll come out. Okay, that's fantastic. And then my other question has been answered about the tiny houses. That's great that they've started off site, or at least one of them. And my last question was around the reaching out to the chief and councils. It was suggested to me that maybe the initiative to reach out would be better received if it came from this table, from the leaders. And I'm wondering right now what that looks like. Is the mayor reaching out? Is staff reaching out? And how we might have better success?
Thank you. I do.
Oh, you're doing it? Okay.
I do reach out. I probably haven't over the summer,
Okay.
particularly with things
But it is
going on.
You, not staff. That's great. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Any other questions, thoughts? All right. So let's put a motion forward to receive this report for information. Thank you, Councillor Lightfoot, seconded by Councillor Toss. All those in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Perfect. All right, on to item number 7.2, CFO Momberket regarding the permissive tax exemptions.
Thank you, Mayor O'Connor. This is an annual process that we go through, and this is to provide a property tax exemption to a limited number of not-for-profit organizations that operate in the village. There's a number of properties that are exempt under legislation, so we don't have any say in that. There's things like cemeteries and places of worship and things like that. They have a statutory exemption through BC assessment. This is a decision of council to provide an exemption for these organizations. And so the three that are on the list are the same three that we have done for the last number of years. Two of them relate to the Anglican Church. One of them is the property for the parish hall. The other is the property that the church sits on that is not exempt under the statutory exemption. So the province provides a statutory exemption for the actual footprint of the church building. We provide a permissive exemption for the remainder of that lot so that the whole lot ends up being exempt in the end. And then the other one is the Legion property. So those are kind of our three that we have typically done. We used to do one for the Catholic Church, but because there's no longer a church there, it's no longer statutorily exempt, and therefore we wouldn't typically offer a permissive tax exemption in that instance. So these three are before you for in the form of a bylaw, a permissive tax exemption bylaw, which is a little bit later on the agenda for first three readings.
Great, thank you. Any thoughts, questions, comments from council? Councillor Toss.
Just a question around I'm just confused why the churches would be owned by the Fraser Basin.
Yeah, it's not the Fraser Basin Council. It's another organization
Oh, it's a society,
with a
Fraser
similar
Basin
name.
Property Society.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. No other questions. Let's receive this report for information. We need a motion.
So moved.
Thank you, Councillor McCann, seconded by Councillor Michelle. All those in favor?
Aye.
Carried. And moving on to Director of Development, and this is regarding the Economic Development Strategy. And we have Carolyn with us.
We're
There
here.
she is. Okay,
Yep.
good. All right, go ahead. Yeah.
Great. Good evening, Mayor and Council and public in attendance. Before you today is a report that considers the results of the request for proposal for an economic development strategy. If you remember in late May, we indicated we got support from you to go into this process. Within the report, we listed the key criteria for the proponents to respond to as we seek an economic development strategy that is unique to the Lytton area and the Lytton situation. The RFP was not to consider tourism. The RFP was posted on June 1st and resulted in 14 proposals, which again, we kind of were blown away with that much interest. But very quickly, we were able to narrow them down, focusing on the applicant's experience and their team based on the criteria, in in particular, we wanted extensive experience on economic development strategies in small BC communities. Recognized the implementation component of the strategy for a community with very limited resources. We're not a Surrey, we're not a Cumberland, we don't have that type of resources. Community engagement, both with the local individuals and businesses, the chamber, but also Indigenous businesses, individuals, and governments. So there was a key component for that as well. And also looking at strategies that were done in communities that had a major decline due to a loss of an employer or some other external factors. So from there, we moved it into a short list of three. And at that point, I then shared this with a team. And as you can see in the report, we broke down the points that we would be given for each team. I have to admit that the team's experience, although all a little different, and the prices they were pretty similar, and they weren't really going to help us. It was really their experience and their team, and primarily working in small communities, those within a larger Indigenous surrounding community and within the community, making sure that they could do engagement that was appropriate, and then that they be actionable. So I then had to go into, because they were quite close, I had to go into reference checking just to make sure, which was good. And in the end, it was Reineck Strategic Solutions and Watson John Watson that were selected. I have to say there was one particularly reference from Gold River, which I think has a lot of similarities to us. And their reference was, lack of a better word, it was glowing. It was really good. It was exactly what we were looking for. And I did really ask them pointed questions. So with that, that council approved the selection of Reineck Strategic Solutions in partnership with John Watson to complete the Village of Lytton Economic Development Strategy for a total contract amount of $65,500 to be funded by the 6.26 million wildfire recovery grant. Happy
Thank
to
you.
take questions.
Oh, thank you for that. Let's put this recommended motion forward. It's from Councillor Lightfoot and seconded by Councillor McCann. Now, are there questions, comments, thoughts regarding this? Councillor Toss.
Thank you, Mayor O'Connor. I will be not voting in favor of this. I'm sure it's a wonderful organization that would be doing the work, but because it's our third economic development report and because of the cost of it, I just cannot support it. So thank you.
Thank you. Councillor McCann.
So taking that in mind, so what we're getting here is an action plan that our own staff should be able to carry out, to take the work that has already been done and move forward so that something actually happens. So that I'm pretty sure that Councillor Toss has expressed the concern of a lot of people that we don't want to see another report. We want to see something getting done. So what can we expect to see getting done?
There's within the work program, there's extensive engagement, and then it's very actionable. So and we also, in particularly within the strategy, asked for quick wins, things that were done, and also piloting and examples of where they have done that successfully. I think a lot of the economic development work that had been done was very focused on tourism. This is not, and that's deliberate. And I think what we heard through the official community plan so far is that people want a nice community that can survive and have an economy. And if other people come, that's great. But that's not the focus. The other, which we are quite excited because we're well over 50 responses, are the young adults and what skills they bring to the table and what they'd like to see as an economy given their career focus and what they want in the community. So that's another area. So the proposal program not only has engagement, but it also has a proposed economic development summit, is really getting out there. The other component I should have said too is matching property owners with potential investors or businesses or economic drivers. Right now, we have a lot of properties that are vacant or not underutilized, and we want to get those developed. So those are things that, in particularly in Gold River, and I believe Canal Flats, they worked on as well. So that's the focus.
Okay, so this contractor will do that work or will set us up to do that work?
There'll be a combination, and I think what's important is because they have worked in small towns, they know the importance of organizations such as the Chamber or community groups or Pathways to Gold, similar to those external community groups that some of them can take the lead and help going through. I think we do have an advantage because our large property owners are not a lot, and we definitely know where we want to focus. But we also have tremendous opportunity with the rail lines that somehow then we've turned our backs to. Hearing people from previous the importance of the rail line and the spurs and et cetera, and how that helped the community. So those are all.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Appreciate that explanation. Thank you.
Other questions, thoughts? I know back in May when we put this forward, this directive to you to go out and find somebody, you did share a lot of that then, and it's good to kind of hear it again because that was a month or two ago. And so, yeah, so we have this motion forward to approve the selection through the RFP process. So I will call the question, and if there are no other comments, all those in favor and opposed, and that's carried.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, moving on to bylaws, and we have the permissive tax exemption bylaw recommended to give it the first 3 readings. I'd like to put that forward, Councillor Lightfoot, and a seconder, Councillor Toss. Any further comments? All those in favor? Carried. Now verbal reports. They do that. All right. I have a lot written down here, but so here we are at the end of July. I don't know where this half of the summer has gone, but it feels like, we've had very few days in July without the presence of smoke from the fire situations that are happening all around us and all over BC. Each day I wake up and smell the smoke, but I'm reminded of if smelling smoke is all I have to worry about, we are lucky compared to many communities around. And like every one of you, I know people in all of the communities that are being impacted by these horrific fires. Boston Bar, North Bend, Clinton, 70 Mile. I have a friend who lives on Felker Lake, which is a fire up by Williams Lake, and my thoughts are with everyone. I do want to mention our office staff, Kathy and Sam, whose homes are in North Bend and Boston Bar, and hope that they are back to some normalcy soon. All right, so as far as some of the work I have done, on Wednesday, starting from the beginning, Tuesday, July 14th, I attended the Small Communities Informal Meeting where a number of issues concerning small communities were discussed. It was put on by the Small Communities Rep of UBCM. Something I learned there was regarding, I heard it before, but confirmed it, was regarding a homeowner's grant that owners apply for to support their property taxes. I heard that the provincial government is going to reduce it by $200 next year. And apparently it was a grant that was increased by $200 a number of years ago, but they're returning back to that. On Wednesday, July 15th, and this maybe to answer one of your questions, is I had Carolyn Lamont, our Director of Development, join me, and we visited the First Nations, Kappa, Siska, Kanaka, and Nikuman Band offices. We went around. There was one chief in. I was able to chat with him. The rest was staff. The chiefs weren't in. But what we did was talk about the update where we are in the process of updating the official community plan. On July 16th, that's a Thursday, I attended the TNRD meeting in Kamloops. You know, lots gets discussed there from all over the region. But one thing they did report to us was they are putting welcome to TNRD signs around on some of the borders. And apparently there's one going to be installed down at Falls Creek at Jackass. So we'll look forward to seeing that. On Wednesday, July 22nd, of course, you know, we had, that was the hottest day. I think it got up to 41 that day. I opened the parish hall to be used as a cooling center. We didn't have a lot of people come, but I know those that did appreciated it. On Friday, July 24th, was the day we had the serious, severe smoke. And I opened the parish hall for the farmers market to use, which was very successful, it turned out. On Monday morning, July 27th, I don't usually report on Monday coffees, but just thought I'd share that it was a great turnout. We had new people joining us, some who live in the TNID joined that had never been, and some from the elephant community joined us as well. And we also had an evacuee from Clinton. In fact, she's a municipal councillor and she's staying with family in the area here. So she joined us for coffee as well. And finally, I want to give a mention to Diane, our CAO, for keeping the team, the staff, the contractors focused on keeping the work moving forward. You know, every time I looked out my window, there was work going on. Didn't matter how bad smoke was, except that one Friday I noticed they did manage to either go home early or not show up. But it's just great to see that work continuing. So I just want to thank her for that. And that is my report, and I'll move on to Councillor Thomas.
Thank you, Mayor O'Connor. I have nothing to report aside from echoing your sentiments with our surrounding communities that are impacted by the wildfires. And yeah, I know how horrible that is for everyone. So thank you.
Thank you. Councillor McCann.
Thank you, Mayor O'Connor. I have a short report. There was only 3, I think, things that I did in the last couple of weeks. Went to the Fire Smart Collaborative meeting on the 15th of July, the new Pathways to Gold Society on the 17th, and attended the coffees with the mayor. I'd just like to thank the village for their support of the Lytton River Festival. It's kind of important to me. Plans are coming together nicely for a great event on Labor Day weekend. And I also know that many of us are feeling stressed with the fire activity around us recently. I appreciate that we can host a few fire evacuees as they wait to return home. And my thanks to all firefighters who show up every day and do their best to protect our communities. And just with special mention to I see lots on Facebook from Boston Bar, and our friend Kathy is there catching the limelight a lot for her work down there. So really appreciate, even though we don't get to have her here, I sure appreciate the reason we don't get to have her here. So thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Michelle.
Nothing to report.
Councillor
Nothing to report other than coffee yesterday with some of our visitors from outside of the town. And as everyone else has stated, thankful for the firefighters that are out there minimizing the risk in this extremely dry summer.
Thank you. All right, we'll move on to item number 10, which is new business. And we do have one item. It's regarding the monthly reporting to the province of BC and the contribution agreement. We have a recommended motion to approve the report. So let's put that forward. Thank you, Councillor Toss, seconded by Councillor McCann. CAO Marquette, did you want to speak to it?
The only thing I was just going to mention is that we do have a situation this month where we have gone back and done some further analysis on some of the staffing costs, and some of the amounts that had been charged in previous months have been reallocated to other grant funds. So we see the staffing costs are reduced by just over $18,000 because of those reallocations. That's for things like the election and the OCP and other projects like that people that are typically paid under the recovery grant are working on as well that aren't recovery. So we need to pay for those out of a different funding source. So I just want to point that out because it's a bit unusual.
Thank you. Are there any comments or questions regarding the report?
I just had one.
Councillor McCann?
I'm pretty sure you've got a reason, but I was curious why it was a bit later than usual that we got this report this time. Was it just because so many people have been away and disruptions and stuff?
Well, it is, and we were working on this adjustment. We had one person we were trying to get a hold of to make the final adjustment number, and we were just having a little bit of a challenge there. So as soon as we got it, we could finish up the report, and we didn't want to. We knew these adjustments needed to be made, so we wanted to get it done.
Yeah. Thanks, Diane.
Okay, thank you. So we have the motion on the floor. So all those in favor? Carried. Moving on to, that brings us pretty much to the end of the meeting. We are going to be moving into closed. So we need a motion to move into closed to discuss matters related to 91A, C, G, and K, and I as well. So Councillor Lightfoot, seconded by Councillor McCann. All those in favor? Carried. All right, so that brings us to the end of our open meeting, and thank you everyone for attending, and I'll turn it back over to Corporate Officer Storchenko.
Thank you, Your Worship. So that concludes the public portion of the regular council meeting for July 28th. We ask that members of the public and staff exit the meeting as council proceeds to close. Thank you for joining us, and council, I invite you to take a short recess while I prepare the meeting to close.